Trust in Cape Town, South Africa. The Muslim Judicial Council is made up of, it is represented in South Africa. And we have a division, Qism al-Halal, which is our the economic part of what we do. And I'm the CEO of that division. In 1945 was the first time that there was a need in South Africa to certify a product halal. There was a company that was producing butter, and the Muslims were refusing to buy the butter. And this company then did research, why is the Muslims not buying the butter? And they found out that it is because the Muslims don't trust the product. They approached the authorities, and that was the first time we wrote a standard. This was before we knew about ISO, before any type of written type of standards. We were taking it from the Quran and the Sunnah, and we were writing our standards. We then developed the Muslim Butchers Association, also in South Africa, and then we really started formalizing our standards. So by the 60s, in the 60s, the standards was already formalized. You must remember, by this time, the Islamic countries, they were saying, why is there a need for this? We know halal. We don't need halal. They were saying, that is for you people that live in the West. You need halal, not us. But what happened in Dubai? Dubai wasn't always like it is now. I don't know if you can remember, Dubai was a fishing village. Yeah, people were going out catching fish. And then, slowly Dubai became a market. And then they also wanted international goods, and McDonald's, they wanted McDonald's to come to Dubai. And McDonald's came. And Dubai had no infrastructure to certify McDonald's halal. Can you imagine that? They didn't have the infrastructure, the standards, to allow McDonald's to operate in Dubai as halal. So who did they ask? They asked us. Can you certify McDonald's in Dubai? The rest is history. After the Emirates and the GCC countries understood the economic value of halal, they invested billions and billions and billions. Now you will think that the industry originated there. You will think that the industry originated there, but it didn't. So why is Muslim countries taking an interest in halal? Because economies are integrated. The world economy today is integrated. No country is an island. Somalia is not an island. You will import, you will export. Eventually, inshallah, there will be a lot of barakah, and you will be a superpower in this region, inshallah. Right? But it is to prepare. You need to make the preparations. And part of that preparations is having an excellent ecosystem for halal. And this is what actually that I'm coming to talk to you about today. I don't want to take too much time, so you must just bear with me. I see you don't give people a lot of time, so I will move through. Go on. Okay. So my topic for today is quality infrastructure and the halal ecosystem. So you can go to the next slide. Quality infrastructure basically is, yes, you can go to the next one. These are my three topics I'm covering today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit only about quality infrastructure. I want to talk to you, the number two is the main part. Number two is the main part. If there's time, then we'll do number three. But if there's no time for number three, you know the importance of human capital. So what is quality infrastructure? The speakers this morning, they spoke a lot about it. I'm not going to repeat what they said. They said it better than what I can say it. So all I'm going to give is one sentence, and that's the sentence. That's not the sentence, by the way. But it's fine. You have to go one back. That quality assurance protects your reputation as a country that is producing goods. It ensures consistency, because people want the same goods all the time. They don't want inconsistency in what you are manufacturing, and it builds long-term trust. So once you came a long way. I want to congratulate your director. You came a long way in a few years. But if you're striving for excellence in your national standards, in the 21st century economy, you have to do it. You don't have a choice. You cannot say that we are not interested in this. It is imperative that you do it. And when you strive for excellence, it is a sign that the world, to the world, that you are ready to do business. It is a sign that you are ready to do business. But I'm not here just to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the halal ecosystem. So how does the halal ecosystem fit into the quality infrastructure? We were having lunch and we were talking, and I was mentioning, if you go to the doctor and they take your temperature and the doctor says, this is your temperature, do you trust the doctor? Inshallah, you trust the doctor. How do you know the equipment is working? How do you know if he says he's got a high temperature, but you feel, no, I'm okay? How do you trust the thermometer? You have to trust the thermometer. Why must you trust it? You must trust it because it went through a quality system. That's why you trust it. Because you have a reliable quality infrastructure. So you can trust your medical equipment. See how important it is. If they take your blood pressure, how do you know the reading is accurate? How do you know the doctor is saying you got high blood pressure? How do you know the reading was accurate? There's a quality, an invisible system. One of the speakers said, an invisible system that is controlling the quality. The man in the street that is eating the food, how does he know that food is not going to result in him becoming sick and dying? He trusts. But why do you sell your trust cheap? Your trust is not cheap. There should be a quality infrastructure that you can depend on. And this is the halal ecosystem. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about the standards bodies. I'm going to give you an overview. I'm actually here to talk firstly to the people of the Somali Bureau of Standards. My talk is actually speaking to you guys first, inshallah, and also to the private sector. And if the normal consumer, we hope they will benefit as well. So you have your standards bodies. They set the framework. You have your national authorities. They adopt and they mandate the standards. I'm going to go into each of them. Then you have your accreditation bodies. You have your halal certifiers. I come from the halal certifying background. So we work with industry and trade. We cooperate with them very strongly. And then you have your consumer. Go to the next slide, please. So let's talk about the first layer. Your global reference. Where does all of this come from? There's a global reference. The global reference is the Codex Alimentarius. That is for food. Food hygiene, food safety. They also have a reference in there for halal. But it is very, very brief. So this Codex Alimentarius, it's not a national initiative. It is not driven by any particular agenda other than food safety. That is the agenda, food safety. So it is a global index. It's something that it doesn't matter which country you are, you buy into this first. Right? So this is your global standard setting body. The other global standard setting body is CIMIC. The OIC. Somalia is part of the Organization of Islamic Countries. And they have this organization known as CIMIC. And they deal with the standards. So CIMIC, they actually wrote standards covering halal. It's called the OIC CIMIC 1, 2, right? And they cover halal food, cosmetic, pharmaceuticals, even certification bodies. If you want to operate your certification body, you cannot operate in isolation. You have to have the standard, and they also do supply chain. This is going to be important for you as Somalia, because you need to adopt a standard, a halal standard. So the shortcut to this is, because you are OIC country, it is to utilize the SMIC standard. You can develop your human capital in the form of a Sharia body, which you can test their standard according to your own belief system. That's fine. And if you find that it meets your criteria, then you adopt it. If you find that you want to change it a little bit, there's something in it that you want to make specific to Somalia, then you adopt your own standard based on the SMIC standard. So this is the beginning of you developing your infrastructure, your halal infrastructure. Right? So you will adopt your own standard then based on this, Or you will say, we're not going to go through all the trouble. We are very happy with the SMIC standard, and we're going to accept that. You have regional bodies as well. For example, the GSO standards. So the GSO standards has been developed by the Gulf countries, right? So the Gulf countries, they developed the GSO standard. They also took it from SMIC, and they gave it a different name. They said GSO, and they gave it a number. And then Dubai, the IAC, did the same thing. So they said IEC, and they gave it a number. So everyone is giving it the same number, but they're making the abbreviation different. So I don't know if Somalia is going to do the same, where you are going to say SOBS Halal H255. You know, this is what everyone is doing. This is what we find they're doing. Sometimes it's good because it gives you that national identity, because there's things peculiar to you, but sometimes it becomes a barrier to trade. So I just want to give you a word of caution. Don't make it a barrier to trade. Think carefully when you want to develop your own standard. Okay? So I'm just telling you, so why do we say that the GSO is a regional standard? Because it only applies to their region. If you want to trade, now here it becomes a little bit different. If you want to trade with a region, then you need to have the GSO standard. They don't even accept the SMIC standard. Yeah, there's not even a collaboration there. This is a barrier to trade. We are always complaining because we are on the front line. We're dealing with business, people that want to move their goods. So they tell us, why is there all this different standards? So that is a problem. So just be careful of that. Okay, next slide. So that's the first level. The second level is on a national level, and this is where your Somali Board of Standards is going to play a role. These are government organizations. They adopt the standards and they enforce them domestically. So who is going to write the standards? That's what we are saying. Who is going to take the SMIC standards and for Somalia to have their own standard? Whose job is that? It is the job of the national standards body. Yes. It is the job of the standards body. So example, it comes out in various ways in various countries. Malaysia, the Department of Standards, they have a halal standard known as MS 1500. They have the MS 1500 series. Indonesia, they have their own. UAE and Saudi Arabia, they have the GSO standards. South Africa, we have no official South African Bureau of Standards, halal standards. We don't. They rely on us. They rely on the private certification bodies. So we are now dealing with the South African National Accreditation Center. We are working in collaboration with them, and we are going to they are also going to be developing the halal standards at a national level. And we are a non-Muslim country. But why are they doing this? They are doing this because they have recognized that the industry is a big contributor to the GDP. So in terms of halal goods that is produced, South Africa is 14th in the amount of halal goods that is produced globally, and we're not a Muslim country. We're even before Somalia, and we're before many other African majority Muslim countries. We produce more Muslim food for export than many Muslim countries. Why? Because we understand the value, we understand the size of the market. So there's a huge, everyone was talking about opportunity, there is huge opportunity. So your national standards body, they will write the standards, they will adopt the standards. It goes a step further, right? You need accreditation bodies. You understand this language. So these authorities, they check whether halal certifiers are competent and credible. So in Jakim, the Department of Standards, they are not involved in accreditation. They have given over the accreditation to the Department of Islamic Affairs. So that is Jakim. So they have given the standard over to Jakim, and Jakim is responsible for enforcing the standard and for accreditation. That is the Malaysian model. The Indonesians have something similar, not as sophisticated. The Gulf region, I said they have the Gulf Accreditation Center and they have the Emirates International Accreditation Center. And then SAC in Singapore. Why are accreditation centers important? If imported goods is coming into Somalia, if chicken is coming into Somalia, say chicken is coming into Somalia from Brazil. Now it comes into your port. So now you have all your normal checks, right? Is the supply chain, the cold chain, all these things, is the import and export papers right? All the fees, everyone paid. So that is in order. Who is checking whether that chicken that's coming in is halal? So now they produce a certificate. They say, no, this chicken comes from this company, and this company is halal certified. So they give you the certificate. So what do? You accept it or don't you accept it? Do you trust the certificate or don't you trust the certificate? So Muslims will say husnul dhan. No, this is not husnul dhan. You know, there's a place for husnul dhan, but it's not this place. This is where money is involved. And someone who can pull the wool over your eyes, they will pull the wool over your eyes. You need to make sure there's traceability, that that chicken originates from the place where they say it originates. You need to make sure that that certificate that has been produced is a legitimate certificate. So what is a legitimate certificate? Maybe they buy it online. You can go online, you can buy a halal certificate. The job of the accreditation body is to find the producer in Brazil. You don't only work with the importer. You find the producer in Brazil and you accredit the producer. If there's a halal certifier in Brazil, you speak to that halal certifier and you ask them, we want to see if you meet the minimum requirements according to the Somali Bureau of Standards. So now you're developing your credibility as a market. So now they're not going to use Somalia as a dumping ground. They're going to give you good stuff. Because they see you are serious about you wanting quality in your country. So now you accredit the certifiers. If I want from South Africa, if I want to bring a product into Somalia, then you have to tell me, no Zakaria, show us your paperwork. Show us, we want to see if you're credible. So you will work with the Somali Bureau of Standards, you will work with the Somali Halal Center. It doesn't exist yet, inshallah. We make dua that something like that will soon come into existence. A Somali Halal Center which will take care of this and which will give accreditation to other certification bodies. So next time, inshallah, we have our third conference. We will have Somalia on here as well as an accreditation body, inshallah. We're working towards that. Finally, there are HCBs. So this is not easy for you to break in your own country. A HCB is a halal certification body because there's a lot of things. So the locals, they won't understand. They will say, why you want to certify my goods halal? So maybe that's not a good place to start. The place to start is whatever you are exporting. Currently you are exporting livestock to the Middle East. Right? So they will accept it because it is alive. They will process it that side. But you are missing out on a big opportunity. Because if you create your processing plants in Somalia, number one, it's job creation. Number two, the moment you slaughter the animal, the price of the meat goes up. It's no longer a live animal. So now it's no longer a cow. Now it's steak. And now they give it different names. Yes, and all of that has a value. You're missing out on that entire economy because you're only pushing out live animals. If you start processing in your own country, then whoever the entrepreneur is or the business sector that is going to say we will build the processing plant and we will be responsible for Somali export of meat, of processed meat, that company will need to be certified. So then you will need to have the capacity. You will need to have the local capacity to certify that company. So it's either going to be the job, you can double up. Because in Malaysia, JAKIM does two things. JAKIM does accreditation, so they are the oversight for certification bodies, for foreign HCBs, but in Malaysia, they also do certification for their companies. So they don't have two separate institutions. Saudi has two separate institutions. Saudi has the Saudi Halal Center, which gives the certification, and then they have the Saudi Accreditation Center, which gives the accreditation. So they have they have a different model. You don't need to invest in two different models. You can use one model and it can serve two purposes, inshallah. So I hope so far it's clear. You guys look like you understand, eh? You look like you're following me. Yeah, because I talk sometimes I don't know. So next slide, please. So example of certification bodies. I put mine first. So MJC Halal Trust in South Africa. The Saudi Halal Center is in KSA, JAKIM in Malaysia. IFANCA is in the US, HMC is in the UK. There are over 100 certification bodies globally, but not everyone is accredited, right? I see my man is standing here, so that means my time is up, and I'm going to use my last minute, inshallah, to skip everything else and to go to human capital. It's important that you develop your human capital. This thing is not going to create itself. It's going to require a commitment from the Somali Bureau of Standards to say, we want to establish this. And we are going to create a budget for it, and we are going to create the expertise around it. Right? The program needs a head of your halal program. It's going to need an advisory panel, a Sharia advisory panel. It is going to need standards and accreditation experts. It is going to need halal auditors and experts. There are standards written for all of these people. The technical training is there. It's just a matter of the willingness to undertake this project. In conclusion, as we have seen, that quality is not just a technical requirement. It is the very foundation of trust, trade, and transformation. When a nation like Somalia commits itself to excellence in standards, and it builds a robust quality infrastructure, it signals to the world, we are ready, we are reliable, and we are here to contribute. That is what you want. You want to show the world, we are here, we are ready, and we are role player. Right, that is the sign. In the halal sector especially, quality goes beyond compliance. It touches iman, people's iman, their values, their everyday choices of millions of people. So by strengthening the halal ecosystem, we are not opening doors to global markets, but also safeguarding the dignity of our consumers. We're protecting their health, we're ensuring their peace of mind. The work before us is clear, and I conclude: to harmonize, to professionalize, and to build systems that will outlast us, systems that will allow Somalia to stand tall in the global economy. Let us leave here today, inshallah, committed to quality, inspired by purpose, and united by a vision of a nation whose products and services are going to be trusted across the globe, inshallah. Last but not least, I want to take this opportunity for the president of ASO. I'm glad you're here today, sir, and I'm glad you had the opportunity to listen to this presentation. And I hope that as a continent, we are going to harmonize, we are going to be given the opportunity to integrate our halal standards and to harmonize our halal standards as a continent, inshallah. We find that Africa has been neglected for far too long. These standards don't originate in Africa, but the people of Africa have been practicing these standards for very long. Africa is a majority Muslim continent, and they have been following these principles. They have been following these standards. They might not have written it down, but the time has come for us as a continent to take our place on the world stage. And not only for the OIC countries. Botswana is not part of the OIC. South Africa is not part of the OIC. But we want to benefit the continent as well. So if I can leave you with that as part of your future agenda to help us succeed, I will be very grateful. Shukran for your attention. Wa akhir da'wan, alhamdulillah.
Beautiful, beautiful presentation. Thank you, my brother Zakaria. We had different guests from Arusha, from New York, to Geneva, Ghahira, and now we are going to a different direction. حقيلة كذا حقيلة كذا قبل حقيقة تعالى سعودي هذه نمرك Sultan Fahad from Saudi. Sultan, welcome to the audience.
Confirm that you hear us very well, and we will share a screen if it's possible for us.
Sultan, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you loudly and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. We will share as well a presentation. So thank you very much for your invitation. We are very proud and very happy to be part of this wonderful conference about Somalia quality infrastructure. We will present a very short presentation in which we will just give you a very high brief about our company, about what have been done as well with Somalia developing a national halal strategy. So next slide please, Sultan. So this is the table of content for our presentation. The next one will be why the quality infrastructure is so important for a country, particularly from halal angle. The halal quality infrastructure is in fact building consumer confidence and enabling trade. This is very important to know as a start. Quality infrastructure refers to the systems, to the institutions, to the policies, to the procedure that ensure products and services meet certain standard of quality, safety, and efficiency. It typically includes many aspects. Some of the presenters mentioned standard, mentioned accreditation, mentioned halal certification, etc., etc. In fact, to have a strong quality infrastructure, we have the standardization, so to develop the standard, and halal is amongst these standards as well. The previous presenter, Brother Zakaria, mentioned some of the standards like SMIC, JAKIM, Saudi Arabia, GSO, etc., etc. When it comes to halal, the metrology aspect, which is the measurement and the I would say the accuracy of our interaction with the product and services. The accreditation, it needs a very clear process, policy, and procedure for whoever want to be certifier. The conformity assessment, it's related to any kind of testing, inspection, and laboratory aspects as well. And the market surveillance, by controlling the market and monitoring product are already, I would say, in the market. So why does the quality infrastructure, the halal quality infrastructure matters? First, it will support the trade. Second, it will protect consumer to have and to ensure their products are safe, are reliable, and performance of goods and services. and it will boost as well the competitiveness of the country. And lastly, it will as well promote the innovation in the whole quality infrastructure. So in short, quality infrastructure, it's the backbone of a reliable and fair market system, enabling trust between producer, consumers, and regulators. Saying this, I will leave the floor for my sister Nawal Al-Babtin. She will present to you our company, and Mr. Our brother Najmul Haq, who has been working on the national halal strategy for Somalia. Please, Nawal and Najmul Haq, follow.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. With you, Nawal Babtain, Director of Halal Product Development Company. I'll give you a brief about our company. Our company is wholly owned by Public Investment Fund. It is established in October 2022 to localize the halal industry in Saudi Arabia and develop the halal ecosystem globally. Actually, we have two main activities in our company. We have investment activities and the halal product advisory activities. For the investment activities, HPDC, they have investment arm focusing on localize the halal industry in Kingdom, mainly in food, pharma, and cosmetics through GVs with local or international partner. Other arm, we are from me and Dr. Muhammad. Dr. Muhammad, he is the managing director of the Halal Product Advisory. We are working to have like a consultant, we are a consultant firm to help companies and countries in the halal sectors to develop the halal product, including food, pharma, cosmetics, and also helping the companies to enter a new market. I will give details about what we have in our companies. As I mentioned, we have different services that we are providing, but before that, our vision to implement KSA halal ecosystem globally and to be a leader in halal globally. And also, as I mentioned, we have different services that we are providing in our company. We have halal pre-certification services. We are helping companies internationally to getting the halal certification from different entity, even in Saudi Arabia, in GCC countries, or even in Malaysia and Indonesia or other countries. They want to tap into this market. We are helping the company to export their product to this market. And also we are having the build awareness for the companies, and also we are offering workshop for the companies to know about the halal economic and the halal compliance globally, and also for Saudi Arabia. The second service, we have the export and investor support services, enabling access to the global market of the halal product in KSA or international market, as I mentioned, to enter a new market globally. And also we offering for the companies, we have the halal market growth strategy for companies, and also for the halal compliance advisory. And the most important things, we are also working with some countries to build their national halal strategy, to have like an ecosystem building in their countries, to having in everything in the place. We are working on that also. And we are supporting in the halal ecosystem building. We are focusing in many different sectors. Now we have food, pharma, and cosmetics. In the future, we have halal travel, modest fashions, and media and Islamic finance. Here we have some from our client and stakeholders we are engaged with. For local halal stakeholders in Saudi Arabia, we have SFTA, Saudi Halal Center, Saudi Accreditation Center, and also we have Saudi Export, GCC for the GSO standards, Mudun, and some different identity in Saudi Arabia. For the international stakeholders, we are already engaged with the Islamic Development Bank and UAE and Greece, Nigeria, and Somal. Also, we provide the services for the local companies and for the global companies to having different services they are requested from us, and after sometimes after we study their strategy and we have a new or revised strategy for these companies to enter a new market, or even for their product to have like a new innovation from their product. We have for the local company, for example, Nadik, Sawani, and Sadafcos, and different companies. For the global companies, we have Eat Just is the companies focusing on the innovative food, and also we have Believe for cosmetics product, PRF, and we are working with Greece, Nigeria, Somal to build the halal, national halal strategy for them. Also, we have a different team. They are working with and expertise in the KSA and globally to have someone in the place and in the countries to get more understanding of the country's market, and also if we want to build a national health strategy, or even for some countries to export their product to other international companies. We have, as I mentioned, Dr. Muhammad Ali. He's the managing director for this department, and we have a different colleague from different countries. Here we have our contact. You can, if you want to help you in getting the consultant in different sectors, please feel free to reach us through hba@hbdc.sa. Please send an email if you want to have private or specific workshop for you. We are welcome to do that and help you, inshallah, to if you are a company to export your product. If you are a country, we inshallah help you to build a national halal strategy for your countries. Thank you so much. Now I leave the floor for my colleague Najm al-Haq. Najm al-Haq.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sister Nawal and Dr. Muhammad, for setting the context. And as was just mentioned by Dr. Muhammad and Sister Nawal, we have been honored to be part of the development of Somalia's national halal strategy. And it's now in a good phase, and the numbers are currently being reviewed, the KPIs, etc. They are currently being reviewed by SOB's respective team members. And so far, we have managed to wrap up the roadmap initiatives. Since the numbers are currently reviewed, we will not present them here, but we will go through the processes that we have so far followed and the initiatives that we suggest being implemented to achieve the goals that's being talked about all throughout the last hour or so. So why do we need halal market? So everyone was talking about this tremendous opportunity, and you will be glad to know the most authoritative body of providing this kind of number is a partner of HPA. So we see that the global halal economy is represented by $2.43 trillion of consumer spending by 2 billion Muslims worldwide, and this is expected to reach $3.6 trillion. And if you add Islamic finance, it becomes around $7 trillion. And the bulk of that is being comprised from the halal food sector. So if you can see on the left of the screen, the halal food comprises around $1.43 trillion as of 2023, and it's expected to reach around 2 trillion by 2028. And the modest fashion, media, recreation, Muslim-friendly travel, halal farm and cosmetics, the rest of the halal economic sectors comprise the rest of that tremendous numbers. Next slide, please, Sister Nawal. Okay, so now why do we need this halal market growth, and where will it come from? It's not just coming from consumer spending, there's also a trade or export growth opportunity. So there's this report called SGIE, which means State of the Global Islamic Economy Report, and this is produced by one of our very close partner at HPA. So in their analysis, they show that the top OIC exporters, so the top exporters to OIC countries, the top 5 of them are non-OIC countries: China, India, Brazil, Russia, and USA. So if we look at the long list, the top 10 list, only 3 of the countries are from OIC countries: Turkey, UAE, and Indonesia. But the bulk of that is from non-OIC countries, and there is a huge trade opportunity that needs to be captured here. And Somalia is they sit on a very geographical advantageous position at the Horn of Africa. They sit adjacent to the global maritime corridor, where the bulk of the world trade goes through the Gulf of Aden, Suez Canal, etc. So there is this huge opportunity, the trade pass through that Somalia can capture. And now looking at the halal economy, we say that there is growth opportunity. Why that the growth is there? Because there is this huge, powerful demand and supply side forces that's coming into fruition to drive this halal economy sector. So on the demand side, we see that the rising affluence of Muslim consumers across different spectrums of life, across different geographies and continents. There's also a growing youthful population who now are not only satisfied with just buying brand products, they also try to see that whether this product aligns with their values, whether they're ethical and moral upstanding. As you can see from the geopolitical events currently happening, the youths are very conscious. They try to not use the products that are contributing to or exacerbating or being partaking on the violence that's been taking place in different parts of the world. So this is also fueling the halal economy sector. On the supply side, you see the national halal strategies being an enablers from the supply side. There's also investment activities from the likes of Public Investment Fund, PIF, Indonesia's investment fund, etc. There's also intra-OIC trade linkages that are providing the supply side enablers. So together, they are positioning the halal economy sectors in a growth trend. Next slide, please, Sister Nawal. Okay, so now why we need this halal strategy, you may ask. So on the SGI rank, the State of the Global Islamic Economy ranking, where they benchmark different countries' halal economy ecosystem relative to their market size and also their GDP and population, you see the top countries, they all have halal strategy being implemented or on the pipeline. So Saudi is an example. So they sit on the SGI ranking at the second position. So they have HPDC, they have Saudi International Halal Expo, Makkah Halal Forum. Malaysia, it was being talked about by Badr Zakaria. So they have this Halal Industry Master Plan 2030. They have Halal Industry Development Council, and they are now building Halal Commission that will overtake JAKIM in terms of its authority and power. So they are very active on this regard. So it's no surprise they are number one. There's also Indonesia, which is ranked number 3rd. So they have Master Plan Industry Halal Indonesia from 2023 to 2019. They have KNIKS, the Indonesia National Halal Economic Committee, which is in the process of being upgraded to a ministry. So they are all contributing, and there is also UAE CB, Central Bank of UAE led Islamic Finance Halal Strategy 2031, which at HPA we were proud to be part of. So all of those countries, they have halal strategy more or less. Even some non-OIC countries like Thailand, Brazil, Philippines, China, they're also looking into that. And the emerging forces like Qatar, Pakistan, South Africa, and UK, they are more or less, working towards it. Like South Africa, but as Zakaria mentioned, they don't have one, but they are currently in talks with some of the players to develop one for their country. Next slide, please, Sister Nawal. Yes, so in terms of the framing or the scope of this national halal strategy, so our purpose on this project or on this endeavor is to create a national halal strategy for Somalia. We will identify the key opportunities. We'll provide a roadmap for each of the key stakeholders with clear links to domestic market growth, FDI, export growth, import substitution, and job creation. And by doing so, we will be trying to achieve 5 objectives. We will profile global halal markets. We will benchmark Somalia's current Islamic or halal markets landscape. We will determine the strengths and gaps in Somalia's ecosystem. We will also prioritize and quantify clear Islamic halal markets opportunity areas. We will then wrap up with presenting a roadmap with economic impact KPIs, tangible economic impact KPIs, which you can measure as you are implementing and monitoring this halal economic strategy. Next slide, Sister Awal. Okay, so this national halal strategy, it hinges or it stands on the shoulders of 5 pillars. So the 5 strategic pillars are what? The first one is the codifying and certifying of halal standards. The second one is upgrade and add value in livestock fisheries. Third one is build cold chain and trade logistics backbone. Fourth one, win markets and brand Somalia halal. There is also the fifth one is investment in people, data and innovation. Some of those were already highlighted by the Zakaria as being impeding or enabler for the halal market in Somalia. So what we envision by presenting this halal strategy, our vision is that by 2035 Somalia will be the Horn of Africa's credible halal export hub, moving from live animal and raw fish trade to certified value-added meat, seafood and byproducts, backed by world-class standards, cold chain logistics and skilled Somali talent. And in our full strategy we provide how each of those will be achieved in detail. Next slide, Sister Noah. Okay, so we mentioned about selecting priority product opportunities. So how are we going to do this? So we will follow this framework that you are seeing on the screen currently. So first we will look at what are the high growth, high value halal industry products are. So here we will define the top product categories across food, pharma, cosmetics and fashion based on OIC import growth and OIC import value. Then we will look at who are the major OIC importers of these products. So here for selected products we will identify the major importers. Then we will classify the countries based on Somalia's ability to serve, be it proximity, location, sanctions and trade agreements. Then we will determine products to focus on and what part of the value chain within each product that Somalia should focus on. So in here we will look at the alignment to national strategies. We know that Somalia has livestock strategy, investment promotion strategy, etc. So we have taken all this into consideration to make sure that this strategy fits right into that play and they implement and complement each other. There is also unique country advantages. We mentioned in Somalia has a geographic advantage. They have agricultural land. They have labor that's huge, youth demographic that's into play. If they can be utilized, they will be providing the country a very huge advantage. There's also Somalia being positioned as a re-export hub with the likes of UAE, etc. So this is one. And then after doing all these three, we will cluster the opportunities. So here we will group opportunities to guide the country on how to approach them. So these clusters will be based on phasing, geographical clusters, trade agreements, potential Somalia synergies. Next slide, Sister Nawal. Okay, so we have presented our KPIs, our numbers, our North Star KPIs, the GDP contribution that the halal strategy, if being implemented, will be giving to Somalia by 2035. So these numbers are currently being reviewed by SOBS. So we are not presenting that number, but we are presenting the councils that we are proposing for the roadmap realization. So what we are proposing is that first there need to be an establishment of halal 2035 PMO and detailed roadmap. So we are working currently with the Nigerian government on their halal strategy as well. So in there, the halal strategy is being looked at from the Vice President's office. We have in Indonesia, we have them in Indonesia as well. The Vice President's office looks after that halal strategy. So in Somalia's case, there needs to be a detailed 2035 PMO, and that can be at the office of the Prime Minister, be at the office of the President. But for the sake of the strategy, we're proposing it to be headquartered in the office of the Prime Minister. So this will drive the cross-ministerial execution on the KPI dashboard, etc. So each ministry will work a full-time focal point, etc. And then what we will do is we will share the story. We will create a brand Somalia Halal Drive. There will be a logo, brand book, tagline, etc. And we know that Somalian diaspora across different parts of the world are very strong in the likes of US, UK, in Europe as well. So this diaspora will be helped so that they will come and they will help market their Somalian potential. They will also come with investment, so there will be a soft launching pad for them. And then there will be 7 councils. So one will be Global Halal Brand Council. There will be Halal Standards and Compliance Council, where the SOBS ulama exporters, they will be there. There will be Ease of Halal Trade Council. There will be Investment and Islamic Finance Council. There will be Cold Chain and Logistics Council, and there will be Digital Traceability and Data Council, and then Skills, Innovation and Research Councils. All these councils will help Somalia achieve the KPIs that are being put forward in that halal strategy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noel. Thank you, Brother Najmul Haq, for presenting the whole, I would say, a very summary and very executive summary about our work and our engagement with Somalia government and with SOBs in particular. I would like at the end to thank you, thank all the organizers and the I would say authorities, stakeholders in Somalia that have been very cooperative to develop this strategy, and we are here to support any future implementation, inshallah. Thank you again, and looking forward to meeting you again, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Thank you very much. أدبي أمها سيهين سلطان فهد نوال نجم الحق محمد علي. أنا وحنا الله هالقفة السعودي كسر قلي قولي وزير السعودية ماشي نزوف في استودنا. مركا شرف بينو تاي إن ضد أنت على إك. كنت وحين متلاين إن هيئة تيادوركا يو أرمها حلالكا وأنا جران كرتان هذيك كده كره هيئة تيادور يا أرمها حلالكا ما كلي هذا. قبل سو قارني زكريا حسن حريريها مشروع درايف وزارة الجناح سيجان ويريا زكريا صلاة عصرنا وين هاي سائنا نوتي ما دان جعلان لها زكريا
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. agaasimaha guud ee hay-adda tayadhoorka martida sharafta leh ee noogu timid dibadda dowladda federaalka iyo dowlad goboleedyada dadka nagala jooga ganacsatada dhammaan asalaamu calaykum. asalaamu calaykum. waxaan umaleynaa khadadii malala seexday. waxaan rabaa waqtiga waa yaryahay. waxaan rabaa inaan ku hadlo magaca wasaaradda ganacsiga iyo warshadaha. anaga wasaaradda iyo hay-adda tayadhoorka waxaan nahay hal waan isla wada shaqeynaa. waxyaabaha waxaan rabaa inaan ka hadlo wasaaradda ganacsiga u suurtagalay dhawaanahan iyadoo laga faa'iideysanayo mashruuca drive. kow wasaaraddu waxay shaqo ku leedahay wax la yidhahdo trade facilitationka fududeynta ganacsiga oo ah kaalinta wasaaradda ay ku leedahay xukuumadda federaalka. waxaan kaloo la shaqeynaa ganacsiga gudaha EAC da hadda aan ku biirnay iyo ACFTA iyo ganacsiga adduunka oo dhan. intii aan joognay wasaaradda mashruucan drive waxyaabaha noo qabsoon waxaa ka mid ah waxaan qornay hadaayo waxaa laga hadlay in badeecadda Soomaaliya dib loo process gareeyo oo adduunka la geeyo. waxaan sameynay wax soo jari doono muxuu ahaa shaqadaas tayadhoorkana koobi ka tahay sharciga la yiraahdo rule of origin law. hadda waan diyaarinay mar dhow muxuu ahaa golaha wasiirada la geyn doona dowlad yiraahdo. waxaan kaloo sameynay si loo ogaado suuqa xoolaha Soomaaliya wax la yiraahdo livestock market assessment aan sameynay oo aan ku ogaanaynay xoolaha Soomaaliya tayadooda iyo muxuu ahaa iyo badeecadaha xoolaha laga sameyn karo intay yihiin. marka assessment oo full ah ka soo baxay. waxaan kaloo qabanay Soomaaliya sida ogtihiin waxay daris la tahay wadamo badan. waxaan sameynay wax la yiraahdo assessment simplified trade regime assessment study. waxaan ku sameynay xuduudda Soomaaliya iyo Kenya oo ognahay qulqul badan oo ganacsi inuu ka jiro. kaasna wuxuu soo saaray waxyaalo badan oo caqabado ku ah ganacsatada waddankeena informalka u badan ee xuduudda isaga goosha. marka recommendation badan ayaa ka soo baxay oo aan rabnaa iyadana inaan adwaal yiraahdo aan dhaqan gelino si ganacsigaas u fududaado. Soomaaliya sida ognahay ma lahan siyaasad ama sharci dhoof oo u degsan. sidaas awgeed waxaan sameynay inaan sameeyno istaraatiijiyadda dhoofka Soomaaliya oo hadda gabagaba ah. waxaan rabnaa hadda inaan bilaabno inaan sameeyno sharciga dhoofka qaranka. oo asleenahay inuu wax weyn ka qaadan doono fududeynta ganacsiga waddankeena iyo inaan gaarno dunida iyadoo hadafka ugu dambeeyna uu yahay inaan helno hay-addii dhoofka qaranka ahayd inaan dhisno. waxaan kaloo hadda sameynay waxa la yihahda single window system oo aan ognahay in uu u yahay muhiim ganacsiga wadamo badan oo hormaray ay aada u isticmaalo. waxaa meeshaas ka bixi doona in qofka ganacsada ah oo dhowr xafiis oo ku aado waqti badan ugu baxo. single windowga anagoo kaashanayna customka Soomaaliya waxaan rabnaa inaan ka dhaqan gelino Soomaaliya si transactionska oo import iyo exportiga systemkaas ugu dhex dhaco. waana wax requirement u ah Soomaaliya maxaa yeelay EAC ku biirnay. EAC wadamada ku jira way qabaan single window. mashruuca drive ayaana taasna aad u taageerayo. waxaan kaloo leenahay oo aan xoog ku haynaa inaan sii xoojin aan rabnaa waxa la yiraahdo Somali Trade Information Portal oo aan ugu talagalnay in dadka dalka iyo dibadda joogaba in xogta ganacsiga waddanka ay ka daalacdaan portalkaas oo aan soo gelino waxyaabihii oo wasaaradda iyo wasaaradaha ganacsiga iyo shaqada ku leh arrimaha ganacsiga ay kusoo boostgareeyaan shuruucdaha iyo habraacyada u gaarka ganacsiga si qofka asigoo sameynin inuu wax dhoofiyo ama soo dejiyo uu ogyahay xogtii iyo shuruucdii iyo dokumentiyadii iyo habraacyada u baahnaa dhan inuu meeshaas ka daalacdo. hadda waxaan gacanta ku haynaa oo naga dhacay siyaasadda ganacsiga ee Soomaaliya. sanadkan ayaan qoraynaa insha Allah waxayna shaqeyn doontaa 5 sano. siyaasadda ganacsigana waa siyaasadii aan kula macaamil lahayn adduunka waddan walba wuxuu leeyahay wax la yiraahdo trade policy. that trade policy wuxuu sheegaa marka ganacsigaaga waxyaabaha oo ku saleysan yahay iyo siyaasaddaadu maxay tahay. sida diblomaasiyiinta ay leeyihiin foreign policy oo leeyihiin oo ganacsigana wuxuu leeyahay trade policy. that trade policy marka wuxuu align ku ahaan doonaa EAC-da IGAD iyo African Continental Free Trade. waxaan kaloo hadda rabnaa inaan sameyno suuqeena waxaa dhahnaa waa xor inuu yahana wuxuu ahaa inuu ahayn aniga dadka waxaa og consumerska oo suuqa ka faa'iideysta. competition law ayaan rabnaa inaan sameyno marka ugu horeysa Soomaaliya. competition law and consumer protection law labadaas marka waxay saacidayaan in suuqa uu xor noqdo. tusaale ahaan dadka ganacsatada ah waxaan rabnaa in aan u sameyno dadka inay ku tartamaan not lacag iyo qiimaha inay isla jaangooyaan laakiin ay ku tartamaan quality-ga maxuu ahaa wixii ay dhoofinayeen. sida ogtihiin guruubyo qaarkood oo ganacsatada ka mid ah ayaa intay wada fariistaan hal lacag soo jaangooya waxyaabaha ay ka ganacsanayaan. taas marka waxay saalaysaa in dadkaas dhexdooda ay ku tartamaan quality marka lagu tartamana lacagta way yaraanaysaa waxaana ka faa'iidaya dadka consumerska oo shacabka ah. waxaan kaloo rabnaa inaan sameyno anoo gabagabo maraayo wax la yiraahdo special economic zone meel ganacsatada ugu talgalnay in dowladda ay siiso. dowladdan dhulku way bixin doontaa in la dhiso oo laga dhigo free zone oo dadka ganacsatada ay imaadaan oo canshuur aan laga qaadin waxooda ay meesha ku process gareeyaan kadibna la dhoofiyo. weli Soomaaliya waa laga sameynin. hadda waxaan sameyn rabnaa feasibility oo lagu ogaan lahaa goobaha loo cayimay inay ku habboon yihiin. wasaaradda waxay u taagan tahay inay mar walba shaqeyso wasaaradaha iyo hay'adaha dowladda kala duwan arrimaha ganacsiga khuseeyo iyo dhaqaalaha iyo in aan mar walba aan u nahay afhayeen iyo garab istaag ganacsatada Soomaaliyeed meel walba joogaan. rugta ganacsiga iyo wasaaraddana waxaa ka dhexeysa wada shaqeyn aada u weyn. waxaan kaloo rabaa in aan idiin sheego ugu dambeyntii maanta tayador iyo waxaan ka hadlaynay iyo sidii wax loo dhoofin lahaa. tayadorka waa meesha kaliya oo ganacsiga in la dhoofiyo ay ku xiran tahay. annaga markaan adduunyada aan la tegayno wax heshiis ganacsi su-aalaha la weydiinayo waxaa kamid ah tayadorkiina waa sidee wax u samaysiin processkiina waa maxay sidee laydinku aamini karaa. marka tayadorkan muhiim ay noo tahay. waxaan rabaa inaan mahad celiyo tiimka hay-adda tayadorka oo ay hogaaminayso agaasime Xaawo iyo tiimka kale ee farsamada. waqti badan marna qaado wax badan aan sheego waa haya laakiin waxaan rabaa inaan halkaa ku qeeyo. waa mahadsantihiin. assalaamu calaykum.
zakariya aad u mahadsantahay waxa badan Britain u dhiganayna aad u mahadsantihiin. waxaan rabaa inaan soo gabagabeeyo berrito hadduu allaha awoodda la ogolaado sagaalka la kulmi doonaa doodo badan baa jira cilmi baaris la soo sameeyaa la rabaa in meeshan aan ka faa'iidno la soo bandhigo waxaan aad u mahadcelinayaa qof walba oo hawshan maanta ka shaqeeyay 19 qof ah hadashay oo 9 ka mid ay ajnabi yihiin taas micnaheedu waa boqolkiiba 95 ku talagalka warqadda noo qoran inay sideed u dhacday ilaahay baan u mahadcelinaynaa waxaan u mahadcelinaynaa cid walba ka shaqeysay wiilka halka jooga ee audio control roomka hal mar aad iigu sabciya waa ninka qof walba Geneva iyo New York Jidda ilaa iyo Arusha qadka soo gelinayay aad baad u mahadsantahay control roomka halkaas aan ku xirayaa wassalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh